Yeah, I'd say everybody just go and go small. I don't care how much money you got in the bank. Go small until you learn what you're doing.
Let's get into it. Let's take it back to the beginning. When did you start Xtreme Recycling, and why did you decide to get into the liquidation business?
Well, I've been doing this for about 25 years, but it was not always under Xtreme Recycling. It was kind of just always under my name. And then I guess about 7 or 8 years ago, I bought out a company that was in bankruptcy, and it was a recycling company. And I used to do a good bit of business, but over the past quite a few years now, we're doing like way more than we ever did before. But I bought this company out that was in recycling business over in Memphis and Georgia, and they were in bankruptcy. And so we turned that thing around, and about took a year or two, started doing extremely well, kind of got more into the buying of closeouts again. But the recycling part was mainly dealing with big companies like Frito-Lay and things like that. But anyway, I kind of got more into the buying and selling of products. And I had a big company come in and offer to buy the recycling part out about 2 years ago. And when they bought that part out, then we kind of shifted full time into nothing but this, and it's been quite a bit since then.
That's great to hear. So tell me about the 25 years ago. What sparked your interest in entering the liquidation business?
Oh, I was a supervisor with Coca-Cola, and was just always out in the marketplaces. And a friend of mine, he was kind of in it a little bit, and he always told me, because we kind of always bought and sold stuff a little bit. But he was like, man, why are we working for freaking Coca-Cola? Even back then, making $50,000-$60,000 a year. But he's like, we can make way more on our own. So I don't know. I opened a store, mostly the food side, and we did really well with it. And then opened another one, and this was while I was still at Coca-Cola. So after, I don't know, about a year of realizing I didn't need the Coke paycheck anymore, I decided to leave.
Wow. So you were selling food.
Yeah, well, that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I sold other stuff too, but yeah, it was mostly dealing with Kroger and Winn-Dixie and their liquidation side.
Interesting.
Not just food, health and beauty aids and diapers, and kind of like a regular grocery store, more or less.
Great. So you took their Overstock, or their, you said liquidated merchandise?
Yeah, Overstock, shelf pulls, what they consider damage. The same exact business this is, except for it was in the grocery side.
Different category.
And we ended up opening 7 stores over the years.
Wow. Okay. So when did you start to transition out of food, or are you still, in a hybrid kind of model?
Well, I'll buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter what it is. But I do more business outside of that food market now. Like anything, over time, a deal comes, it's doing really well. There's always something that changes eventually. I don't care who is running the program. And it got so competitive in that market. So many people was opening stores. It gets to a point where, you don't make any money, but percentages keep going up higher and higher. And, it gets to a point, don't make any money. So I don't do this for free. So, I don't have the retail stores anymore. I got rid of all those, and now I just I do online auctions, couple live auctions, and 2 eBay accounts, and then I flip truckloads.
Okay, so truckloads, eBay, online marketplaces, and what was the fourth method?
Well, I do a lot. I also do live auctions also.
Live auctions. Can you tell me how that works?
Well, the live auctions work the same way as the online auctions. We do a couple online auctions too. One out of Nashville, one out of Guntersville, Alabama, and yeah, the live auctions. You just your people go through the stuff. We take it down to the auction place, which is about 20 miles from one of my warehouses, and 100 people show up and they bid on it.
Wow. So when did you transition out of storefronts and into, open warehousing, opening warehouses, I should say?
Well, I had warehouses before also, but about, I don't know, 15 years ago.
Mhm.
I'd rather not deal with the public.
So no more direct to consumer.
Except for online, which is still the same thing. Because I don't do the Facebook Marketplace. What our auctions online is people buying the stuff. Some of them are resellers. Some of them are just people who buy the stuff and take it home. And you can do this type with way less overhead than on storefronts.
Yeah, absolutely. So what type of products are you primarily selling now?
We buy, anything, Target, Walmart's, Lowe's, Kohl's, Procter & Gamble products. I mean, you name it, all type of products.
Mm-hmm. And what categories are your main categories?
I guess you just say general merchandise, really. I mean, that's probably the biggest majority. The Lowe's is probably the most, whenever they're available. They come and go. Gotcha. And prices go up and down, but anyway, that's probably the biggest item.
So by general merchandise, what do you mean exactly by that? Is that like home goods or apparel? Right. Mm-hmm.
Mostly something like in the line of home goods, tools, just really anything that you could imagine around your house, mainly. Some furniture items, a good bit of furniture. But yeah, just stuff like that. And a lot of cleaning supplies and stuff like that.
And is there one category that's the most profitable for you, or does that change maybe depending?
It changes all the time. All of it was profitable until about a year ago when everybody in the world started trying to get into the closeout business. Mm. I guess during this pandemic, everybody needed something to do. And unfortunately, it's drove the pricing up. But, the worst part is I guess you see so many people buying that buying blindly. And then you got a lot of brand new brokers out there. It's not really affected me that much, but you got a lot of brand new brokers out there that, just that don't know the business. So unfortunately, there are a lot of buyers out there that's getting burned.
That's unfortunate. Do you have advice for people just getting into it to avoid those type of brokers, or
Oh yeah, definitely. Just don't even look at the damn post on Facebook. Find you 2 or 3 good brokers, or I don't even consider myself a broker because I look at brokers like they post everybody else's stuff, buy a little bit, post everybody else's stuff, try to sell it before somebody else sells it. I only sell what I own. So if I offer it to somebody, I already own it, I paid for it, So it's different. But, the only advice I got is stay away from just those marketplace brokers, the liquidation site brokers. I don't mean the brokers like Direct Liquidations. Y'all been around a while, and so is quite a few others, but I'm just saying all these new people that's getting on liquidation truckload sites. There's hundreds of them now on Facebook and offering things. Just find you two or three good people to buy from and stick with them, because the bigger ones that can buy and sell hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product a week, there's no purpose in us burning nobody, and if there's something that goes wrong, which there will be, there's always something that's going to go wrong. I don't care how big of a seller you are in this business. At least we fix it, and sometimes it means coming out of our own pocket to make somebody who can't afford $1,000 loss or a $5,000 loss fixed. Sometimes that puts people, realistically out of business, which, if it does, you probably shouldn't be in this business anyway. But unfortunately, there's so many that do and think that they're going to take their last $5,000 and turn it into $1 million, and it just doesn't work that way.
So speaking of that, and what is your recommendation for someone who might want to get started? How much money, how much do they need to invest to really start? And do they need to have, X amount of a nest egg?
Yeah, I'd recommend, me personally, I'd recommend every single buyer to just start out like really small out of your house and go to some local place or whatever and pick up a couple pallets and get your eBay account and sell a little bit on Facebook Marketplace and whatever you got to do to turn to turn profit. And I don't care what products you buy, not all of them can be sold on eBay. Marketplace doesn't make sense for a lot of them. eBay is a place that obviously you can get close to retail. You just have to understand the shipping process, all that. And but yeah, I'd say everybody just go and go small. I don't care how much money you got in the bank. Go small until you learn what you're doing.
Absolutely. And what categories would you say someone starting out should begin with?
I wished I could tell them like health and beauty aids, but unfortunately, they're just not available. There's not going to be available for somebody starting out that's going to want to go buy one pallet or something. But from there, you just have to look into. I don't know. It just depends. I mean, a lot of big bulky items, it just doesn't pay to ship them on eBay or wherever you're selling. So I would probably stick with the general merchandise of like a Kohl's or a Target or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And how long from the time you started did it take to start turning profits?
Oh, I started with $4,500,
Mm-hmm.
and I never put another dime into it.
Wow. So right away.
Yeah. And it just, but unfortunately, like, people expect it to come without a lot of work. And that came with me working a full-time supervisor job at Coca-Cola and getting off at 6 o'clock at night and working till midnight for a year. It wouldn't have happened. It would not have happened had I needed the money to the store to make money from the beginning. If somebody's going to open something or start something, or I don't care what you're doing, eBay or whatever, don't expect that you need that money to come back to you. If you're needing that to live off of, then you better not do it.
That's good advice. So in the time, since you started, what volumes did you maybe start buying at the beginning, and what are you at right now in terms of how much you're regularly purchasing from Direct Liquidation and other?
Well, I mean, I started, I was buying maybe in the beginning a tractor trailer load every week a long time ago. And now, I don't know. I mean, I would buy way more from Direct Liquidations than they let me buy if they would offer it. Uh, but I mean, like last quarter of last year, I don't have my numbers in front of me, but I'm gonna guess I bought at least 750,000 last 3-4 months of last year, and then it fell way off this year so far. I just 3 days ago I bought 145,000 from y'all on one little deal, and I bought, it's sporadic, to be honest with you. And it's probably not what y'all would want to hear tied with Direct Liquidations. The only thing that I'm not the most favorite about this company is the fact that when you are a big buyer, it seems that somebody can just walk in off the street and end up buying the same thing that you can buy. And I understand you don't want to sell all your products to, a few people, but, I don't know. The Lowe's would be a good example. I was supplying a broker last year with the loads, and in the last part of last year, and I had probably spent, like I say, maybe 750, which is a pretty good chunk of money. I don't care whose business you're in. And the next thing I know, the damn broker that I was selling to was buying them from y'all also.
Mm.
So I don't know. You do what you want to do, but I don't stress over because there's somebody else always ready to buy or willing to buy or wanting to buy. And if it was my personal company, I would look into the bigger buyers and kind of at least make first offers to those people, whether it be me or not, because I know there's other buyers bigger than me. But I would target those bigger buyers first before I rolled out an email to everyone and their brother to, try to buy the same product. And not only that, you could control your pricing better.
It's a good point.
That's just my opinion.
No, I appreciate that. Appreciate the honesty. So you mentioned a lot has changed in this past year or so since COVID hit and everyone's kind of trying to get into the market. So at this point, in terms of your strategy, what factors do you use to judge whether you're going to purchase a particular pallet or truckload?
I mean, so much has gone to the online business throughout the country. And even when people starting to get back out, it's tapered off a little bit, but I don't think that part of the business is going to ever fall back to what it was a year and a half ago. I think it's continuing to rise. And a lot of the big auction companies that I actually know that sell online auctions, they said that they will probably never go back to the live auctions for the dealer sales. So I don't see that I don't see the live auctions really ever hitting the way they used to. And I think the online business is just going to get bigger and bigger. And unfortunately, that means more people sitting at home is going to get into the business, and which makes the product less and less. Makes it scarce to get.
Right.
Right now, that's happening everywhere. I mean, course, the big thing that came out was all these bin stores popping up everywhere. And now that the Amazon products are not as available as they were on certain things, I see them closing every day now. So I think it's going to be a huge rise like it is right now, and then I think there will be a lot of people go back out of business that didn't make it.
Hmm. So how have you changed your purchasing strategy, and how do you really?
We haven't changed anything.
Okay.
I mean, it don't make no difference to me if we sell live auctions, online auctions, to other customers. We actually we don't even sell out of our warehouses. I'm probably one of the very, very few that won't do that, but I don't have people coming in the warehouse to even buy. We bring in all these truckloads, and we sell at so many different avenues between our eBay count does about 1.5 million on one of them, and the other one is just getting started at one of my new buildings. It's doing pretty fair, but we have so many of these multiple auctions that we sell at, and then we sell pallets. So, nothing's really changed on how we go about to buy. And if anything's changed, I guess at all, it's just that we've kind of broadened what we will buy, maybe.
Okay. And what do you do with your damaged or like unsellable items? What's the strategy with those?
We throw it away.
Hmm.
If it's unsellable, we throw it away. We don't even make an effort to do anything with it. Now we do have some connections, being as I was in the recycling business. We do have some connections with some people who actually like grind plastics and stuff like that. So there is some materials that can go down to the places that like grind cars, complete cars and stuff. So matter of fact, we carried a truckload yesterday, and it's not like you're not going to get rich off that money, but one of them paid us back $1,600, which is not that bad. It's better than throwing it in the trash and paying to get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say for our newbies are the key factors to success in this business?
I mean, you just got to work. You better forget about a start time and a finish time from the beginning, and it's just a lot of work. That's all it is.
Yeah, this is not 9 to 5.
It never has been since I've been in it.
Right. And who's been integral in helping you along the way, or has this been a one-man show?
Well, I've had the same guy with me for about last 10 or 12 years, which was a good friend of mine where we coached baseball together and stuff. And it's good having somebody around that knows what to do. You don't have to watch over them. And we never lose an employee either. I mean, once they come here, hell, I guess they're going to retire here because we never lose anybody.
Wow. So you have been with one partner or associate since the beginning. And how many employees do you have total now?
I don't have any partners now. I mean, it's just me as far as owners, but we run it with like 10. And that's everything. But that's the key factor between having your business concentrated into small areas of and doing online auctions, building online auctions. Like the online auctions that we do, they type up the list out of the warehouse. I've got another girl that's not even at the plants or the buildings, and they send that list over to her. She pulls the pictures, while she's doing other things or whatever throughout the week for me. And, that way she don't have to even come in. I hadn't seen her in 6 months. But she does that part. and then it shoots out to the online auction people. Once it's sold, people stop by and pick it up. Sometimes we ship it, depending on which one they want. But
Okay. So how would you kind of categorize the roles of the people that work for you? You have somebody managing the website. I guess you have some sales, operations. What are the roles?
I mean, other than the different ones that actually do the keying in of the auctions or this, that, and other, all the rest of us, we just do whatever. We don't have nothing specific we do.
Okay.
You know, if we need to help keying in something, we would do it. If we need to pull an order for that's going out, you know, we're kind of laid back around here.
Okay, I like it. So if you could have done anything differently, you know, from the start, based on what you know now, what might you have done?
Oh, I wouldn't done anything different. I would have stayed the same thing. I would have kept my standard job for a year, make sure I could make it on my own. Once I realized, you know, everything's good. But so many people, when they start this, first thing they do is they go quit their job. And, you know, that's insane to do that. Because you're not, even though you may show a profit, like very quick in this business, there's a big difference between showing a profit and paying your house payment, you know, with the profits. And that's the reason a lot of people don't make it, because they're expecting to, you know, turn 10,000 into 20,000 in 1 month. And that's just not realistic. It may be realistic now for us, but still we have the overheads and to pay for, and you know, and that's the next thing that I try to talk people out of, because I get asked this a lot, is they're working out of the storage building, or, you know, $100 a month storage building, or they're working out of whatever, and then they want to go get them a warehouse. And I'm like, you know, I would just be careful. If you're okay with what you're doing, I would at least wait to make sure that you're good, because when you take on a warehouse, it don't become a you know, a side money anymore, or a project. It becomes something you have to sell X number of loads to just break even.
Right. So your advice would really be to keep that overhead as tight as possible for as long as possible until you've really got that business.
Right.
Absolutely. And now you mentioned that it's really the future as you see it right now is really through online sales. So how do you see your strategy kind of evolving over the next year or two? What are your plans?
We just plan on buying more product. I mean, we're gonna, you know, we go after specific contracts, deals. I don't like to be up in the mix of as much of what every other person's doing. Like, while everybody's concentrating on trying to sell loads, for example, now, you know, I'm working on another project, you know, that's in the works always. And, you know, then when it hits, we have the controlling interest of what to do with it. You know, it's like you know, I mean, for example, the Lowe's, we could probably buy every truck that comes out of direct liquidation. I mean, I don't care how many thousands it is a year, but, you know, realistic, we know that they're not going to turn it loose to one person. You know, I've asked that question, matter of fact, and, you know, it would probably be in the best interest of them, because they wouldn't have to deal with 100 different buyers. But, you know, that's their decision.
Yeah. So, but you did mention you're going to be getting a website. That's correct, right?
Yeah. And the only reason I hadn't ever pushed that is because our product changes so much. By the time we get on there and update that damn thing, that product's already going to be gone. You know, I buy 4 truckloads this morning of something. I go on there and post it, spend all the time posting it. I mean, in the meantime, I done got 4 text messages with people that check with me every day or something, and it's already sold. And that's the reason I've never pushed those. And a lot of people that push the websites, honestly, is people who actually don't own the product. They're just posting for other people with a markup of $500 a truck or whatever, and praying to God that they sell it before somebody else sells it. And I don't like doing business that way. It's too much of a headache. I'd rather sell what I own.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it seems like you've built up a really big network of people who know you and trust you and reach
Yeah,
out
we
to you
do.
directly.
We do good.
And that's great to hear. Is there anything else you wanted to tell me about your business or plans that I haven't already asked?
No, I'm good. But I appreciate your time though.
I appreciate you as well.